three R2Y2s in the Japanese tech tree might seem extremely similar, but there are some key differences that you might want to know in order to make a decision for your own. To summarize it for you, the V3 is by far the best, and the V1 and the V2 have some very small differences. The V1 accelerates a little bit better and the V2 is a little bit faster. And the simple reason for this is that the V1 has more thrust, the V2 has a little bit less thrust but better aerodynamics, but the aerodynamic difference between the V1 and the V2 is extremely minimal. The aerodynamic difference between the V1 and the V3 is however quite substantial. And I will pull up a little table right here to show you exactly that. I tested all of these on the same map, I took off, I went straight and I waited for me to hit 800 kph. And you can see that the V1 is just faster overall up until about 500 kph, and then the V3 starts taking over and the V2 is just always a little bit on the wayside. And it's not that much faster than the V1, it's not fast to the degree that it starts outrunning stuff that the V1 can't outrun. The main difference here is the top speed. The difference between the V1 and the V2 are extremely minimal. If you have the V3, just fly that thing instead. If you can choose, then the V1 or V2, the difference isn't really that substantial. You can choose for yourself, just look at the graph what you prefer and pick something out of those. Turn rates and all of that kind of stuff are basically the same. They're a little bit different here and there, but it doesn't matter in terms of what you're facing, because you never face another R2Y2 in the end. And with that out of the way, we will proceed how we usually do. If you did skip the intro, today we're flying the R2Y2, starting over the V2, then I will go to the V1 and I will also fly the V3 after that. So in general, these things are not amazingly fast, except for the V3. That thing is actually pretty speedy. It's roughly the same speed as the F80. But of course you have double his fuel when you recoil. So in general you can dogfight most things. It's basically a mix between a Meteor and an F80. You go pretty fast, you turn pretty well, but it's not the meme level that the Meteor Mark III is. The ailerons do compress a little bit at high speed and the rudder makes it a little bit awkward to get shots on sometimes, and you do lack the air brake. The guns on this thing are insane. You have 600 rounds and I recommend you to run tracers, because the tracer shells are actually 200 meters a second faster than all the other belts, and they're completely HE, so there's literally no reason to take another one except that you maybe want stealth, but do keep in mind that those shells are a lot slower and therefore harder to use. How do I fly this thing? You don't have an airspan anymore, unfortunately, and as you will see in most of these gameplays, I will just jam myself in, use these guns and try to get as many people out of the match as fast as I can, because I can spray, and even when I spray them down, they will die. They will die very easily, and I will still have ammo left over at the end of the match. And if you want more of this gameplay, look at his aim, absolutely atrocious. It doesn't matter, that long ass burst only cost me 15% of my total ammo count, which is basically nothing, considering you can one-shot people if you really want to tap fire this thing. I just see no reason to, because you have so much ammo, you're not gonna burn through it. Unless you have negative silver lions, you have literally no reason to tap fire this thing. Just kill secure people. If they blow up, you can stop firing. That's basically what I do. And if you want more of this footage, I have a 9 kill game as well. I will link it on the top right. That's the V3 however. So if you want to skip the V3 footage I have at the end, you might want to substitute it for the one I have over there. So yeah, there's not much to say about this plane. You jam it in, you spray at people and they explode. It's good fun. I did grind most of my Japanese plane with this thing and I flew all of them quite a bit lately. I got about 150 games done in about a week or two because Razor was grinding the F104S back here, who has by now 2200 kills in the thing. And you might think, man, you took a really long time to upload this video then. No, he just plays that thing way too much. And I was really skeptical on the differences on this thing because I knew that the V1 had more thrust, but I really wanted to make sure that they are actually different. So I flew all of them 50 games each. Just to tell you that they all fly basically the same. The V3 is noticeably faster and the V1 does accelerate a little tiny bit better, but you don't really notice it. It is better, yes, but the difference is so minimal that you really won't be able to tell. The V2 is by far just the prettiest one. The V3 intake is absolutely horrendous and the bottom mounted engines on the V1 are just not my cup of tea either. So I decided I put a talisman on the V2 just to find out afterwards that it's not the best one. Quite unfortunate indeed. The V3, you just notice it, especially at higher speeds. If it's an F84 you will out accelerate it. Unless of course you start going faster than you. But other than that, the F84G and B, well the G is just gonna shit on you, but the F84B you can actually deal with. You can't catch it, but you do out accelerate it for the most part. As long as he doesn't go above 850 kph, because that thing just keeps going and you're reaching the cap of your max speed, and so you will start accelerating less and less, because of course when you need your top speed, the closer you get to your top speed, the less you will accelerate, because that's simply how drag works. I suck at explaining this, but you probably know what I'm saying. And really the gameplay here is just get myself in the action, start turning, get my guns on people and start hosing that. Just start hosing them. That's basically what you're doing. It starts hosing till the hose mad. Let's call it that. Because these guns are extremely easy to use, above 900 meters a second. You have unlimited ammo basically, and there's just not much else to say about this thing. It's a very generic plane. You go decently fast, you turn decently well, you outturn most things even, and you have amazing guns. What do you want me to say? Like you can even force head-on versus everyone and you will still win most of the engagement. The plane is rather tanky, the engines are not however, and the plane really doesn't like damage. And with that I mean it's really easy to always keep flying, but if your wing roots get crit, and they get crit rather easily, you will hemorrhage all of your speed extremely easily away. You will stop accelerating basically, but you're still a floating gun platform, and if they get near your nose they're still going to blow up. Just like that guy. I look at him and he explodes. And I know I'm fast forwarding a lot, because I don't like these long ass games and I just don't know what to talk about. This thing is so damn generic. I barely got any good games other than high kill counts, because, well, 7 kills, woohoo, big number, good I guess. But these were my highlights. I just didn't get better games than this. I did get a 9 kill game, but the 9 kill game was pretty still as well. Most of it is just kind of boring. But you know, it's a 9 kill game, so I'm happy with it regardless. So you should check it out as well. Yeah man, I'm good at plugging videos, aren't I? So, I'm in the clouds, I turn around. Heard a couple of guys, these guys were formation flying. I could have gone for the F84 on my left there, but I didn't, because the Vampire is much more annoying to fight in this thing, because they do actually outturn me. And he was flying straight into Razor, who now slammed him. So that's 3 people out of the match. Rather quick cleanup. And what I want to do now is just get out of this area. People know we're here. We don't know where they are. So I just want to leave this area as fast as I can. I don't want to go straight down. I know that's the fastest way to leave right now. But there might be a guy on the bottom there spiking me, who will spot me as I go down. And then some guy that's in the clouds near me might dive on me and then kill me. So I just want to fly straight away. I'm in the clouds. I like this cover, so I'm going to use it. And we just wait for people to get spotted again. F84 on the deck. Get spotted. I decide to just dive on it. He's clearly occupied by killing that IL-10, IL-2, I don't know what it is, that bot. Not sure why you would go for a bot, because a bot is only worth 1/10. Yes, 1/10, you heard that right, so you need to kill 10 of those Arados to get the same RP as 1 kill. Does that seem worth it to you? It doesn't seem worth it to me, because you need to kill all the Arados on this map to make up for 2 kills. And by the time you kill 2, 3, maybe 4, the people in the enemy team are going to hunt you because you're an easy target. You're on the deck, you're spotted, you're clearly low on ammo because you're killing so many bots. And most people that are going for bots are just not as good at the game, because they're killing bots because they can't kill real players. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you, you really are just putting a massive mark on your back. Say you kill 5, now you get hunted, so you got half a kill worth of RP. You're basically useless to the team because you didn't really contribute to anything, because you only killed some bots instead of a player. And you increase your chances of losing because you really didn't contribute to anything. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're really trying to grind, I advise you just go for a player, kill 1, maybe 2 players, and be done with it. You get a lot more RP and your chance of winning is bigger, so you get even more RP out of it. So really just think about the way you're grinding. You might be looking a little bit at the short term, and in the long term success, killing players is definitely the way to go. If you kill a player, you're probably not going to die as fast because you're not instantly spotted in the middle of the map, just so everyone can focus you. But you know, you'll figure it out. It's your game. I'm just giving you some advice. I'm going for the F84. Do keep in mind that there's a guy behind me, but I think I can catch him here. Maybe stall out in the clouds, maybe the guy behind me doesn't see me. Try to kill him as fast as I can. Didn't manage to hit him at that range. Second burst did hit him. I'm going 450 still. He's plenty of distance away from me, and I'm just going to be diving out. I am faster than him, but he's a lot faster than me at this moment, and I won't be out accelerating him. So I will just engage in the dogfight. And because I'm a little bit slower than him, I might be able to cut into his loop. Unfortunately so, shoot a little bit too high. I will commit one more turn here. If I miss this one, which I unfortunately do, that's probably a good idea to start running away. I was going to break off, but he made a turn to the right, and this made it so that I could slot in on the 6 again. And I will continue the dogfight a little bit. And again, he's just a lot faster than me, which is why I was out-turning him. If we were on equal speed, he will completely trash me in the dogfight, and I'm not going to take it. He's turning around. Leaving the shot, I'm not going to stick on this dogfight. I'm just shooting so he can't pull him into an head-on. And I just go head-on with the F89D. Because I don't want to deal with that thing. And the J28 is just full enough, so I have some room to do that. And by the way, he pulled off, he bled a lot of speed. He went head-on and he bled even more speed. So now I can extend away a little bit. And get some separation in. The 262 is going to re-engage him here real quick. And once he does, he's going to start turning again. Which is why I'm preemptively already rolling, so I can turn the moment the J28 starts breaking off. He doesn't seem to be really taking notice of the guy on the 6, or he just doesn't care. Either way, he's trying to follow me. He finally breaks off, so I turn around. Going to help out the 262, because the 262 isn't going to kill him on his own either. Because the J28 is just a little bit better than him. And in the dogfight is going to completely trash him. So I come back in to make it a 2v1. J28 is clearly occupied shooting this 262, and just from earlier he didn't really seem to care about someone else on the 6 or shooting at him, so I will just shoot straight in front of him because he's probably not going to dodge. Unfortunately so, I was wrong. Fortunately so, he still flew into my guns. Dodges that shot, he kind of surprised me there. Luckily I still managed to pull out of it. I thought he was crit, so I was not getting the shot, but he probably lost so much speed being crit that he pulled into that turn. He's going to go right into the ground here. He's just crit, he's way too slow, he's nothing he's going to do anymore. And he flies into a building. Hope no one lived there, and otherwise they won't anymore. F89 get ready to dodge the rockets and then pull back in for the shot. I didn't dodge enough and he crit me, but he decides to fly straight. I take a steal off and he decides he wants to be a frisbee from now on. And into the ground he goes. And that's game number 2. For game number 3, R2Y2 V3, as promised. Diving straight down, trying to get this attacker here. He breaks off downwards, I'm not going to follow that. Massive waste of energy, and there's a lot of guys in the area, so I don't really want to deal with that. So I just go back up into the clouds, wait until I reach the clouds, and then I start rotating around. Razor kills the attacker, which I assumed he would. He was very close on him. Dodge that head on, I don't have any interest in taking a head on with an A21. I completely trash that thing. I might have better guns and a better damage model, but why would I take the head on if I can kill him any other way? F80, just start hosing him, hit him once, wing comes off. Extend away from the A21. He won't be catching me, he won't be out accelerating me, so not really a threat. Doesn't have the best guns either. That's 450 cals and a 120mm with only 150 rounds per gun. Or per gun, there's only one gun. But it's just not very scary to begin with. I'm just flying away. He also had a guy on the 6, so he had to break off. And I just slowly extend away again into the clouds. Or until the other guys are diving away. They seem to not be really paying attention to me, so I'm just turning back around now. And we start re-engaging again. And you can tell that I'm a little bit more cautious with the V3, because the V3 is just so much faster that you can actually start boom and zooming. In the V1 and V2 you don't really outrun many people, so you can't really try the boom and zoom, you just want to kill them as fast as you can. In the V3 you can carry a lot easier. And again, I do still have that other V3 game on my channel as well. 821, turning upwards, going very slow. Take him out, he's on fire. Spitfire over here doesn't really seem to be paying attention, just hose him out of the air as well. I like to imagine that that was the guy saying thanks after I took his wing off. Yak 17, clearly occupied, hose him down, and that's 3 kills in like 20 seconds. And that's half the enemy team gone. Keeping my speed a little bit, get some altitude in the meantime. I try to keep it as horizontally as I can, because the acceleration of this thing might be better than the other R2Y2s at higher speeds. Don't forget that. The acceleration still isn't stellar. And these guys have some altitude. But you know, that's just an 821, I'm not really scared of him. The guy on the right isn't really going to be doing anything either. He's just too far away in his F80. And then there might be another guy somewhere in the area, but I have no idea where he is. 450 rounds left. Should be enough for 1 kill. This guy, I'm just spraying at him in case he goes head on. He doesn't. And you could see the arcade roll in action right there. And if you didn't see it, just play back for a few seconds and you'll see it. The aileron's kind of compressed, the rudder kind of compresses, and you get this really awkward roll where it feels like you can only use one control surface at a time. I can't explain it, you have to experience it. It's one of those planes only this thing has, and as well as, I forgot which other plane it has it, but there's another plane that flies exactly like this. And it's just really annoying. Luckily you still turn well enough to kind of compensate for that, so it doesn't really matter too much. This guy's going to come head on, or at least I think he's going to come head on. He's ground pounding, he's not really paying attention, so I'm just shooting above him, noticing the he's filling up, so I just keep my trigger hold down, and then aim my plane a little bit downwards, and he flies into my guns. Ooh, spectacular gameplay, I know, right? Last guy just on the runway, I'm going to strafe him, because you know, that's what I do. I needed that 7 kill. And if you don't like that, well, then maybe you shouldn't have landed. Just an idea. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all very soon again.